Hi there. In this video we're going to work on subtracting integers. We're going to look at it from using the integer chips and the number line. Over here we're going to be focusing on the Common Core standard number systems 1C, and the highlight is about the additive inverse right here. We talked about that a little bit on the other video for 1.2. But we're going to continue on with that. So in the first exploring the activity, we're here at the zero pairs. We talked about the importance of being able to recognize that and how do you do it. So in their first example that they have is we bring in -4 minus 3. -4 minus 3. So the way we're going to look at this is like this. First, we're going to bring in the 4 red chips, so that's our -4. Then we're going to subtract, or you're going to ask the question of yourself, can I subtract 3 negatives from it? And we have, out of that -4, we can go ahead and we can subtract the 3 negatives. So that means then that we're left with just the 1 negative. So start with 4 negative counters to represent -4. Take away the 3 negative counters to represent the subtracting the -3, and what is left, you have 1 counter, 1 red counter, and that's going to equal -1. The next one that we're going to model is the 6 minus -3, and as you can see, they set that up right here. So going like what we did up here, where you bring in 4 negatives, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in 6 positives. Okay, so we bring in the 6 positives right here. But the question is can you subtract 3 negatives from 6 positives? Okay, so I've switched over here so that we have a little bit more interactive with the chips, and I've rewritten 6 minus -3. So I've set up my 6 positive chips, and as you can see, I don't have any negative chips. So how do I get rid of that? Well, I got to find where these -3 chips are. Well, one of the ways that we can do this is we can bring in 0 pair. If we bring in a 0, do we ever change the number? So 6 plus 0 still equals 6. So I can bring in as many 0 pairs as I want because I won't change the number. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've brought in 3 0 pairs based on this right here, this number 3, okay, because zeros don't change the number. So if I count, here's 1 0 pair, there's 2 0 pairs, and then here's 3 0 pairs, okay? So now, do I have the ability to subtract 3 negatives? And yes, I do, because I have the 3 right here. So what I'm going to do then is I want to take these 3 away. There's 1 negative, there's 2 negatives, and there's 3 negatives. And I'm going to count how many I have of my positives are remaining. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9 positives remaining. So 6 minus a -3 equals a 9 positive. So if I take this and make it like how do we look at it on the number line, if you remember, I said in 1.2 lesson that a subtraction means you go left on the number line, okay? But the second thing you have to look at is this one right here. Do you have a positive or a negative in front of this integer? If you have a positive, you're going to keep going in the direction you already started based on the operation. If you have a negative, you're going to make a U-turn, okay? So make that U-turn from where we started. We were going negative, okay? So I'm trying to spell U-turn here, and not doing well. So I'm going to make a U-turn right here, and I'm going to head in my positive direction. So if I had a number line, I would start at 6, and I'm going to count 3. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So that would be my 3. Okay, maybe I can draw one real quick here. So there's 6. I want to go 1, 2, 3. So this would be 7. This would be 8. And then this last point would be my 9. So 6 minus negative 3 is a positive 9. Okay, so if we come back here now, we can see, using their model, here's the 6 positives that they added. We added the 3 0 pairs based off the negative 3 here. We now can subtract the 3 negatives, and that's going to leave us with the 6, 7, 8, 9. So start with 6 positive counters. You need to take away 3 negative counters, so add the 3 0 pairs. Take away 3 negative counters to represent the subtracting of the negative 3, and what is left, we have 9 positive counters, so then our answer is 9. So go ahead and try C here and see what you come up with. So how'd you do? Okay, good. We can talk about that in class if you have any questions. Here's your reflect, okay? You want to get that done. And here we go. So here we are subtracting using the number line. So this is what I talked about in the other part of the video, where we start at a 5 and we subtract 3. So you guys have been doing this since what, first, second grade? Not a problem. But this here is called our additive inverse. So go ahead and type that in here, additive inverse. So additive inverse is this, and what that does is, if you look, the subtraction becomes a positive, and remember, this is a positive 3. So the positive 3 becomes a negative 3. So it's a two-part change that you have to do. So here it says, notice in your model, the sum 5 plus negative 3, it's the same as saying subtracting 3 is the same as adding its opposite, or negative 3. So that's the additive inverse right here. Subtracting 3 is the same as adding its opposite. So now if we go ahead and we work on this first example here, find negative 1 minus 5 on a number line. So if we go ahead and they're showing you how to rewrite as in the additive inverse. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Start at my negative 1 there. I'm going to subtract, which means I go that way, and this is a positive 5. So I'm going to continue to go in that direction. Okay, so then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I show up here at negative 6. But they're doing the add the opposite, or the additive inverse. So if you notice, they take the subtraction sign, and that becomes an addition, and they take the positive 5, and that becomes a negative 5. Okay? So if you remember from the other lesson, a negative plus a negative, our sign is going to be the same, and this is going to be negative 6. Okay? So we start at negative 1 and move 5 units to the left. So we started here at negative 1, and we moved 5 units to the left, okay? And we ended up at negative 6. So go ahead and try to do B now and see what you come up with. Okay, so you should have came up with a negative 4, okay? Negative 4. Because you started here at negative 7. You initially had to go left, but then this, remember, U-turn, so you had to go back to the right, and you're going to go 3 units. 1, 2, 3, ending up at negative 4. Come on down here, do your Explore Activity 2, and then let's take a look at the next section here. Subtracting integers by adding the opposite. So that's kind of what we just did, but I think this is more of a real world problem, right here it says. So if we look here, they're talking about temperature. Okay, temperature on Monday was negative 5 degrees Celsius. By Tuesday, the temperature rose by negative 2 Celsius. So if we write that, okay, so we have to take the final temperature minus Monday's temperature, and that will tell us what our change is. So we're looking here, and on Monday was negative 5, so that's going to go in here. So let me give you some highlights here. So negative 5 is going to go in this position. Okay. By Tuesday, the temperature rose 2 minus 2 degrees. So that's going to be the final temperature. So this is our final temperature here. And then we're going to find the difference. So we have -2 minus -5. So we write that as our additive inverse. So again, oops, a little misspelling, additive inverse. Okay, and that's right here. Okay, this is what we're doing, additive inverse. So -2 plus 5 is going to equal 3. The temperature increased by 3 degrees Celsius. That's what they're asking you to do. Find the change in temperature. Okay, so reading that problem, the word problem, and highlighting specific information is very important. Okay, you have a reflect problem here to do. Go ahead and try to do that. Come on down here to your turn and into the guided practice. So go ahead and work on those. I hope this video helps you out. Remember, you can pause and replay all you want, and then in class, if you have questions, then we can talk about them. Have a great day. Bye.